Hi, everyone. So, for those of you who are just joining us, if you could please jot down your answers to the first two questions on the workbook, which are what are your three biggest relationship challenges in love and relationships? And what is your positive intention for what you'd like to change and how you'd like to feel? I'm also putting in the chat. Just there we go. I'm also putting in the chat the link to the workbook now in case you need it. And for those of you who have already completed that, please share your answers with me in the chat because while relationship challenges are pretty universal, I do want to learn more about what challenges have brought each of you to this masterclass today and what changes you'd like to make in your relationship. Alrighty then, so let's get into it. Welcome everyone to the Academy of Lasting Love's live masterclass, Two Questions Killing Your Relationship. And yes, you're definitely asking them. I'm your host, Cleo, for today. All right, so we're going to be looking into the two questions that everyone asks. I'm 100% certain you're asking them too. But if you want your relationship to flourish, they're not the right questions to be asking. So today I'll tell you what they are, how they are guaranteed to destroy your relationship, and what questions to ask instead. We're also going to have a look at where you are currently in your relationship, what you can realistically expect from a relationship, and a really compelling and research-backed reason why you shouldn't wait any longer to start fixing things if they're not as good as you'd like them to be. Full transparency, I'll briefly introduce our new course, The Laws of Lasting Love, and make you a great offer so you can sign up if it resonates with you. And as a thank you for staying on until the end, I'm going to give you a really valuable freebie that's going to continue your learning. Firstly, I just want to say thank you for spending valuable time with me. I'm going to make sure it's time well spent. Now, I don't want to offend anyone. Just for the sake of convenience, I'm using a heterosexual model here, but the same solution applies everywhere. Lastly, I'd love for you to take this time just for yourself, to be fully present, open-hearted, and curious. You'll get so much more out of this experience that way. And part of that is going to be this quick grounding exercise. I'm going to do a few deep breaths here. You can close your eyes, you can keep them open, but as you're breathing in, I'd like you to breathe in through your nose and feel your belly expand. These are really deep breaths going deep into the center. So you're going to feel your belly expand, then it's going to go up through the lungs. And then when you exhale, exhale slowly through the mouth. All right, so you can close your eyes, keep them open. And we're going to breathe in deeply, feeling our bellies expand deep down and then slow exhale through the mouth. Deep breath in, deep into your belly. Slow exhale. And one last time. Breathing in deeply and slowly exhaling. Awesome. Okay, so when difficulties happen in your relationship, sooner or later, you are going to ask yourself either, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with my partner? Or more than likely both. Or some form of these, like, I don't seem to be very good at this relationship thing, or how does he not know that about me? Those sorts of things. We automatically ask these questions because the human brain is pre-programmed to look for what's wrong. It's an anthropological survival mechanism that no longer serves us. Also, I just want to highlight that at the bottom of this page is a number on a journal that corresponds to the first question in your workbook on page 3 of the PDF. And so the answer to that question is, what's wrong with me and what's wrong with my partner? You'll see this icon appear on the slides that match the questions in your workbook. Just a heads up, the answers are usually very short, just a few words so they don't distract you from the masterclass. You can always go back afterwards to add more details if you'd like. You can also make notes on the last page. There's that note section there. Let me know if you have any questions with that. So the second question in the workbook, what emotion do you think this is? These questions just start blaming and shaming, and it'll take a situation from bad to worse. So this image illustrates shame. Research by John Gottman shows that criticism and contempt are the two biggest relationship killers. When we blame ourselves, there's too much shame, and we won't really want to look at that issue for very long and learn from it, as it'll be too uncomfortable. So it's much easier to blame someone else. But when we blame our partners, we start to build up a really condemning theory about what's wrong with them. Because of this tendency called the fundamental attribution error, we don't just see other people's mistakes as mistakes or that they happen because of the situation. We believe it's because fundamentally there's something wrong with them. Like if we forget to turn off the light, it's because we were preoccupied. But when our partner does it, they're wasteful or undisciplined. And thanks to something called the confirmation bias, we tend to only see things that corroborate our horrible theory, and we ignore the things that dispute it. So there's really no balance, right? So, what are the productive questions to ask instead? If you're having relationship problems and you find yourself asking some form of the question, what's wrong with me? It would be so much more productive and compassionate to look at how you've been pre programmed instead. A much more self empowering question might be, what subconscious scripts am I operating under regarding how to be a modern man or woman, how to have a relationship in today's world? Now, for any men or predominantly masculine energy partners listening, knowledge is power. So, this is going to be very insightful for you too, especially if you found yourself in power struggles with your partner, and will be something well worth exploring with them. So, let's start by looking at what the first subconscious script means. What does it mean to be a woman? Women today are at a really unprecedented time in history. After 4,000 plus years of patriarchy, we're living in an age where women never really had this level of freedom, resources, and influence. But of course, geographic location and culture still play a role. For the first time ever, all our energy doesn't need to be centered around surviving and making sure our kids survived. Life for us is considerably more different to even our mother's lifetime. Historically, one of the biggest influences on what it meant to be a woman was the Industrial Revolution, because as people left their rural communities and moved to cities for work, it shook up the class system. For the first time in history, it became socially acceptable for a woman to improve her lot by marrying someone who was in a higher socioeconomic position. While it gave women better opportunities, it also sadly turned them into a commodity. The women who were best at winning themselves a successful man were women who took the traits that men like. Obviously, men didn't like the powerful traits that would challenge them. Men wanted beautiful and chaste women full of decorum. They wanted women who would put their husbands and children first. So, today, the model we have for femininity has no real power. Understandably, either us or our mother's generation railed against this, and many rejected this model of femininity. Wanting to have more power, some women became over sexualized, but the majority adopted the masculine power system in the absence of any other, where it's all about doing. It's focused, goal oriented, structured, and it's about controlling the situation in order to get a certain outcome. Now, don't get me wrong. This system has served both civilization and us well by providing us with infrastructure, governance, and wealth, but it's wreaked havoc on our relationships, causing men to constantly fight women for power or to take a more passive, feminized approach in order to balance the energy or just check out completely. The reason Nikki and I are so sure about this is because in over 40 combined years that we've been working with couples, we've noticed that most of the problems occur because either the woman is in her masculine energy, then she's either over functioning, exhausted, and frustrated, or she's criticizing and controlling, Or the man doesn't realize that the relationship is the pond in which they both swim, and he isn't doing his best to keep it safe and healthy. The best way for a woman to turn things around is to step into her divine feminine, a place of love, because love is the only motivator long term. It will trigger the best in her man. The best way for a man to turn things around is to take the saying, happy wife, happy life seriously, and to lovingly help her get there too, while maintaining healthy, loving boundaries, of course. So, the second subconscious script that's running the show without us even realizing it is our relationship script. For most of us, it's a script that was passed down from our parents and the generations who preceded them. It was a combination of two relationship models. The transactional model is as old as time, and it's where people got together because two can achieve more than one. On a fundamental level, a man needed a woman for children to work the fields and help him prosper, and a woman needed a man to protect and provide for her while she was busy ensuring they survived. It was a harsh and often loveless model. Then, in the early 1800s, came along Romanticism, which swung the pendulum to the complete opposite side. It preached to hell with reason, let your emotions guide you to the person you should spend the rest of your life with. It was during this era that love and marriage and sexual fidelity became the idealized trifecta. It proposed that love should just happen, and that if either partner should need to change for the other, that meant you hadn't yet found the one. When you think about it, it is amazing that the divorce rate is only 50% when the relationship model we use today came from a fusion of an emotionally stark transactional model and a completely idealized and unrealistic romantic one. The belief that love is transactional and that there's this perfect partner out there for us just the way we are is why love is failing so many people today. So, really, there's nothing wrong with you, but you may need to re engineer your model for how to love. So now we come to the second killer question. What's wrong with my partner? This is definitely the question every single person who comes in to see us is really asking. When you think about it, what's wrong with my partner? That question really means, why is this person doing these awful things to me? And we just want you to recognize what a disempowered place that comes from. We are putting ourselves in the place of being a victim when we do that and them as a villain. Instead, we want you to ask these much more empowering questions. And don't forget to write these down in your workbooks if you're filling out question 6. How am I inviting this behavior that I don't like? How am I not inviting the behavior I really want from my partner? And once you've figured that out and you've learned to deal with them in a way where they trigger you in a much more productive manner, either they'll begin to change and want to learn how to please you, or they won't. At that point, the question isn't what's wrong with them, but are they a good fit for me? So you'll notice that none of these questions are about blame. When you adopt an I'm okay, you're okay approach, it's so much more empowering for the both of you. If you end up leaving your partner because they really aren't a good fit for you, you don't want to destroy them in the process. On a karmic level, that's just really bad for your next relationship. Better to use the relationship you're in right now to learn how to love and grow yourself, so you'll either bring forth a new and improved version of your current partner, or you'll bring in someone new who's as grown as you've now become. So, one of the biggest ways we invite poor behavior or fail to invite good behavior is our communication style. Think of it this way: when we get emotionally triggered, and no one can do this better than our partner can, we flip our lid. So if you're picturing this as the brain, this part is the frontal cortex, and it goes like this. That's the thinking part of the brain, goes out the window. And now the amygdala, or the reptilian part of the brain, is running the show. Suddenly you go into fight or flight mode, and you either ramp things up or shut things down. There's also a third mode called please and placate, but that won't last for long and will eventually turn into one of the other two. But when we're looking at this, it's really important to not judge ourselves. These are survival strategies usually learned when we were little. Ramping it up strategies include talking louder and faster, yelling, going into orbit, threatening, name calling, blaming, criticizing, begging, catastrophizing, kitchen sinking, and in extreme cases, hitting something or someone, including yourself. What this partner is saying is, in fact, I'm going to demonstrate to you how much pain I'm in through the force of my words. They mostly use aggressive behavior. In the initial stages, they may say they're fine when they're obviously not, but they won't be able to keep up the silence. Shutting it down strategies include withdrawing, stonewalling, withholding, walking away, pulling away, ignoring, sulking, and making it obvious they're upset without saying anything by tutting, eye rolling, or big sighs. What this partner is saying is, I don't know how to talk about my pain, but I'm going to show you through my body language and my actions. They mostly use passive aggressive behavior. These guys say they're fine when they're obviously not, and they'll keep up that charade. So, regarding the above strategies, which one would you say is you, and which one would you say is your partner? Put it in the chat if you'd like. The important thing to remember, as Winston Churchill said, those who fail to learn from history are condemned to repeat it. So, while we learned these strategies to survive, they're just not serving us anymore. And it helps to get clear on where they came from. How did the main influencers in your life, usually your parents, but it could have been someone else, manage their feelings when they got triggered? Just jot down a few words such as withdrawing or exploding or punishing others, those sorts of things. What strategies were commonly used in your home while you were growing up? When you look at all of these, just pull out a few words and adjectives that really describe your experience. Are there any similarities between how you deal with things and how they dealt with things? Or did you adopt the complete opposite approach? The important thing to remember is neither extreme is the place to be. Can you see how they just trigger each other? The more you ramp up, the more they shut down. The more they shut down, the more you ramp up, desperate to get some reaction. These can be totally rewired though by working on the space between the stimulus or the trigger and the response. The stimulus or trigger could be the dirty socks on the bedroom floor, the curt response by the checkout lady, or the smallest remark from your kid. And you already know the way you automatically respond when this happens. You rarely have any control over the stimulus, but you have complete control over the way you choose to respond. That takes courage to explore that space in between and to react in a way other than fight or flight. The origin of the word courage means of the heart, and choosing to work on your response is truly one of the greatest acts of love towards yourself and others. So, where are you in your relationship right now? I want you to write down what resonates with you most so you'll know what you want to work on. You can do this on the last page of your workbook. Maybe time has passed and you've begun feeling less and less like a priority in your partner's life. They're putting work, friends, or hobbies before you, and it makes you feel unimportant and uncertain. Or perhaps you're just feeling more and more exhausted in your relationship because you're doing everything. It leaves you feeling lonely and uncared for. Maybe you started experiencing more and more anger in the ways you guys are communicating, and it's becoming uncontrollable. Maybe you're really worried about where it could lead. Or perhaps the sexual intimacy has slowly begun to disappear, and you're becoming less and less certain about how to get it back. You may even be scared that they or you are taking that vital energy elsewhere. And perhaps now your kids are beginning to get the feeling that all's not well between the two most important people in their lives, and maybe they're feeling uncertain, frustrated, or withdrawn. So, where would I like to be? Here you are, without a doubt, the number one person in your partner's life. Every day, in different ways, they make it very clear that, and you feel valued, supported, and happy. Here you see that when you make mistakes, she is gentle and open hearted about them, appreciating what you've done right and recognizing that none of us are perfect, which motivates you to be a better man. And here, when you're upset, he really listens to you. You're dealing with challenges in a really productive and respectful way. And now you're feeling understood and connected. And now your sex life is alive and juicy and deeply satisfying. You both feel hungered for, confident, and secure. This loving intimacy and collaboration is a perfect role model for your kids. They now feel safe and secure and can go on to create happy, well functioning relationships themselves. So, how do you get from this place where you're feeling disempowered, resentful, and uncertain to this place where you feel certain, supported, and deeply loved? Would you agree that in order to get from here to there, you're going to need a different strategy to the one you're using now? Yes or no? Pop it in the chat if you'd like. Ah, so, I want to talk to you now about how to have a more fulfilling relationship in which you feel both secure, connected, and appreciated. One in which you're co creating this goal together, where each of you allows the other to do it in their own way so that you both feel accepted, competent, and self fulfilled. Because a fulfilling relationship is one in which during the good times you're expanding your connection, but during the bad, each of you feels supported and encouraged by the other. And when you unintentionally but inevitably hurt each other, you deal with it in a productive way. And when you do, research shows that something really magical happens. You begin to heal each other's past wounds. And not only that, you actually begin to heal the wounds of all those you come into contact with. I mean, that's pretty wild, isn't it? So, let me ask you, is this the kind of relationship you dream about? Well, I'm here to tell you that you can make it a reality, either with your current partner or if you're really not compatible, to develop a strategy so you can leave in an amicable way with certainty, integrity, and dignity. Then you'll be free to attract your soulmate and have the tools to invite them to co create a relationship that lights you both up. So, you may be asking, if we're co creating this, doesn't my partner need to be here too? Well, the good news is we created our program, The Laws of Lasting Love, a conscious model for modern relationships, for people who are on a joined up journey when both you and your partner see the cracks forming and want to do this work together, a join me journey when your partner currently feels either hopeless and apathetic or resentful and stubborn and isn't ready to take this course with you just yet, or maybe ever, and a just me journey. When you feel like you're reliving the same relationship with different people and always hitting the same roadblocks. When you change, your partner will automatically change. Why are we 100% certain about this? It's the law of nature, the law of cause and effect. So, why is now the right time to be focusing on your relationship? Because 30 years of research by John Gottman, the world's leading relationship researcher, shows that while it may have taken a long time for your relationship to get to this place, once trouble starts, it becomes a downward spiral. It speeds up towards the end and fights get closer and closer together. So, you probably need to act quickly if you want to save it. Also, here's something else we're 100% certain about that most people don't even realize. According to another law of nature, the law of gestation, a relationship is always either growing or dying. You cannot just park it and expect it to stay the same. Why would we be good guides to do this with? Well, this starts with my mom's story. Like many, Nikki grew up with a really dysfunctional relationship blueprint. She was a strong minded and determined girl, and her dad was really authoritarian. They butted heads all the time. When she was 15, he told her that no man would ever love her because she was too difficult. That haunted her for many years. Needless to say, she couldn't wait to get away from home. Nikki also couldn't understand why her mother, as accomplished and financially independent as she was, would stay with a man like him. Anyway, 15 years later, she was sitting in the ruins of her second marriage, telling her best friend Kat that she was worried that maybe her dad was right. Maybe she was impossible to love, and she was ruining her daughter's life, mine, by leaving my father. Lucky for her, Kat was very wise. She told her that her biggest problem was Nikki had a broken relationship radar. She also told Nikki that she wasn't as different from her mom as she thought she was. While Nikki's mom may not have just left her dad, Nikki kept choosing men just like him. Men who, while they may not have left her, certainly wouldn't love her either. I tell you, Kat's words hit her like a ton of bricks. She was so right. Nikki had been choosing partners who hurt her because that's what she thought love was. In that moment, Nikki was determined, for my sake, as her daughter, that she would break the cycle once and for all. So she went back to uni and got her master's degree and ended up becoming one of the most well paid and highly sought after couples therapists in Asia. Who would have thought it, huh? Anyway, she eventually met and married a wonderful man who she's been with for 13 years now, and she never thought she could be this happy. It amazes her how every year is even better than the last. But here's the interesting thing. After the honeymoon period with her husband Mike, things weren't easy. They argued a lot, and part of her was worried that she'd made another mistake. After all, 50% of first marriages and 75% of second ones fail. It's even higher for third marriages. Determined not to end up as another statistic, she used the insights and strategies she learned over the years from the couples she worked with who had changed. She took steps to really change herself first and then invited him to learn and grow with her. These are exactly the same steps we now teach. So, you've just heard all about Nikki and how, against all odds, she managed to create her lasting love relationship. Now, let's talk about you and how you're going to create one yourself, either with your current partner if they're up for it, or with a new partner once you've developed the skills and created the space. You'll create a relationship in which you don't have to spend thousands of dollars and invest months or years in couples therapy when there's still a huge chance you'll either be stuck in an eternal relationship prison of ambivalence or bickering or get divorced anyway. There's a better way forward. Welcome to the Laws of Lasting Love. This is our decades in the making evidence backed course that in just 7 weeks will give you a revolutionary perspective on love that you won't find anywhere else. It starts on October the 16th at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and goes for 7 weeks after that. We want to give you a heads up and be completely transparent. This course is not a quick fix. As much as we'd like to be able to wave a magic wand and repair everything, we sadly don't have that power. Nobody does. Instead, to make real lasting change, you are going to need to take the time and effort to build the relationship of your dreams. Now, here's what the Laws of Lasting Love will do. It'll give you new insights about yourself and your partner, plus the tools to build lasting love. And if you give this course your all, it would be pretty impossible to not have your happily ever after. It guides you through how to call a ceasefire on all arguing and fighting and reconnect and rebuild the goodwill first, so that the skills we eventually give you for effective and productive confrontation will actually work. If you only take one thing from this class today, let it be this. There is absolutely no way to fix things until you reconnect. It helps you to see the subconscious and ineffective model of love that's currently running the show without you even knowing it, sabotaging you and your partner and making lasting love impossible for you. We'll help you upload a new growth model of love, a much more conscious model for modern relationships, because we really are in an unprecedented and challenging, yet infinite time for human evolution, where really anything is possible, including a healthy, lasting relationship. We'll prove to you how no change can possibly happen until you change yourself first. And you don't need years with a therapist to achieve this. We'll give you cutting edge tools on how to accomplish this huge feat as quickly and painlessly as possible. Once most courses on relationships are over, it's easy to lose focus, but not with the laws of lasting love. We spend a whole week on how to create and deeply instill that committed focus that will last for years after the course is over and deeply transform how each of you both loves and feels loved by each other. Most people don't really understand the difference between codependence, independence, and interdependence. We'll clarify that for you and also show you the level of dependence that's really required for a deeply connected and lasting relationship, and how to achieve it while maintaining healthy, loving boundaries that allow you to flourish. As Nikki is a certified sex therapist and affairs expert, we'll show you how to both affair proof your relationship and how to talk about and co create a meaningful and juicy enough sex life to keep you both motivated long term. And lastly, we'll give you the proven strategies for how to effectively get what you want from each other, quickly and easily fix the connection when you inevitably break it, and to really effectively appreciate your partner in ways that will ensure they keep happily putting your relationship first, which is really the key to lasting love, isn't it? The lessons are given in our compassionate, honest, heartfelt, and straight talking style that combine evidence backed psychological research while including spiritual practices to supercharge them, and the powerful potential of your steadfast commitment and consistent action to manifest a happily ever after that'll rival any storybook ending. This journey you're on will transform your relationship, but be aware. There's something special that comes from learning how to bring your best to your relationship. You start feeling more at ease, confident, and in love with your whole existence. When you let go of old habits and patterns that no longer serve you, the ripple of positive change extends further than you'd think. And how exciting is that? Here are 6 things that make the laws of lasting love one of a kind. Firstly, this course is based on the laws of nature. How many other people can say their relationship theory is based on the indisputable and unbreakable rules founded by the cosmos? It really is true that when you struggle against what is, you suffer. The laws of lasting love fully recognize and embrace the ancient energetic ebb and flow of life. Once we welcome what is and master how to move within these predetermined boundaries, our relationships, both with ourselves and our partners, will flourish. Concrete tools for real world relationships. This isn't some hokey self help guide giving you unrealistic strategies and vague advice. The laws of lasting love will walk you through the how, not just the what. It will give you real actionable guidance to help you make meaningful, powerful change. Based on evidence backed theory and grounded in real world feasibility, all the tasks and tools have been designed with the turmoil of daily life in mind. As you move through each step in this course, you'll work through what's been holding you back in love, deepen your self trust, and build honest, caring relationships by helping you show up in your open hearted, authentic self. Game changing breakthroughs in just 7 weeks, a toolbox for the rest of your life. This course was developed with quick yet long lasting transformation in mind. In as little as 7 weeks, as long as you follow the course material and fill in the exercises, you are guaranteed to make positive waves in your relationship. The tools you'll learn in this course won't just improve your marriage, they'll start enhancing other areas of your life in wonderful ways that you never thought possible. From your boss to your children, positive change starts here. No fluff, no BS, skillful, exceptional coaching. We eat, breathe, and sleep this stuff. There's no shying away from the uneasy and no dancing around the issue. We're all about leaving you feeling well equipped, confident, and excited about applying what you learn in each session to your relationship. With over 4 decades of couples work between us, we're not just giving you information to memorize, we're giving you real transformation. We'll be there with you on the journey, guiding you through the laws of lasting love and supporting you in real time during our live weekly lessons and Q&A sessions so you can get answers to your particular questions, stay motivated, and squeeze all the value you can out of this course. We understand that people learn differently. Some want a more concise version of things, while others want to go deeper. So we've included a deeper dive section on several of the transformational topics we teach. Two generations, one powerful transformation. What makes this course truly one of a kind is the team behind it. A mother-daughter duo, each with their own, each with our own depth of expertise and a shared passion for helping couples thrive. Together, we offer something far more powerful than any person working alone. Two generational perspectives, two hearts, and one united mission to help you build lasting love. You get two specialists for the price of one, and together we deliver way more than either of us could single handedly. The invitation to spiritually supercharge your success. While it's a story for another time, the manifestation and outline of the Laws of Lasting Love came to Nikki as a divine download after a week-long spiritual retreat deep in the redwood forests of Northern California. Based on our many personal experiences and the way we choose to live our lives now, both of us wholeheartedly believe that something magical happens in life when you stop trying to control outcome and instead seek help from and allow the divine to lead the way. It's a much less exhausting way to live. But don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. If this divine approach doesn't speak to you, you will be able to move past those sections quickly. Einstein said, a problem cannot be solved by the same level of consciousness that created it, which basically means that the ego cannot solve problems that it created. When you look at them closely, most of our relationship problems are in fact caused by our egos. With the spiritual insights and weekly divine devotionals we include at the end of each workbook, we're hoping to remind you that when we ask something much larger to help orchestrate life's symphony for us, it'll do so in a much more artful way than our egos ever could. So this course is for you if you know there's something wrong with the way you're going about trying to find love and to make it grow and flourish. You value a fulfilling relationship and you'd like to single-handedly transform it without therapy. You're looking for a new way to be in your relationship. You're okay with getting outside your comfort zone, and you're looking for a non-judgmental place to share, learn, and grow from your relationship challenges. This course is not for you if you want to keep blaming your partner and need them to change before you will. You want a standard run-of-the-mill course that won't push you to grow. You don't like honest feedback, and you don't believe in the transformative power of community. The Laws of Lasting Love is a 7-week online training course. It's all live, none of it's pre-recorded, which literally means we'll be with you every step of the way. So be sure to show up live if you can. Starts on the 16th of October, 8 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. British Standard Time, at British Summer Time, and 8 p.m. Hong Kong time. There are 7 live 60-minute weekly web classes, each bringing you a new law of lasting love, which is followed by a Q&A to help clarify and personalize your learning. You'll also get experiential and transformative in-between session assignments. And in these live classes, you'll receive cutting-edge theory, real-life stories, and exercises to take your learning to another level. So you'll not only get information, but you'll get transformation too. In the Q&As, you'll have an opportunity to clarify and share what came up for you after putting lessons and between session assignments into practice each week. This creates a fertile and supportive environment where you'll be able to ask, share, learn, and grow. Please note, all recorded classes and Q&As are available afterwards in your members portal if you cannot attend live. Okay, so rather than have me tell you more about this myself, here are some people who have already worked with us and applied what you'll be learning, so you can get an idea of what you might expect too. This is from Alice. Working with Nikki really changed the way I approach life, changed the way I see those around me, and I have a newfound honesty in the way I view myself. When I began working with Nikki, I was incredibly distressed about where my life was taking me, and I felt everything was out of my control. I wasn't allowing myself to be happy or choose the path that made me fulfilled. I'm still a work in progress, but Nikki introduced a way of looking at the world and my interactions with others that now feels completely natural. As a result, I now feel a lot more balanced and satisfied in all my relationships with family and friends. They've grown stronger and more fulfilling. And this is from Gabriella. Nikki is someone who really helped me change my whole perspective on life and relationships. When I met her, I was going through the worst time of my life. I was married to a man who wasn't good for me, I was depressed, and I had a total lack of motivation. She helped me realize how critical I was with myself, and that the more critical I was, the worse I would feel. Nikki introduced me to some really unique concepts about myself and relationships. She helped me put it into practice, and that has changed my life. She is not only skilled at what she does, but she's also fun, and it feels like I'm talking to a real friend. I'm in a very good place in my life. I have met and married a wonderful man and just completed my master's degree in counseling. I really thank her for that. And we've got Adam. Working with Cleo gave me the tools to make real progress in my marriage on my own. Her strategies help me show up more clearly in how I communicate and deal with emotions, not just in my relationship, but across the board. Having Cleo's game plan and resources made a big difference. It gave me something solid to refer to when things felt uncertain. She also helped me get clear on what I needed as a man and how to go after it in a way that actually worked. Overall, Cleo helped me stay grounded and clear during one of the most challenging times in my marriage. Without that support, I wouldn't have been able to handle things with the integrity I'm proud of today. Okay, so let's talk about your investment in this program. As you've heard from Alice, Gabriella, and Adam, it's worth recognizing that they've already been saved the cost of divorce. In the US, the average cost of divorce is $50,000 or more, and in some cases, well over six figures, let alone losing 50% at least of your assets. And while it's easy to assume things would be better with someone new, the truth is that while first marriages have a 50% divorce rate, the second marriages have 75% divorce rate, and the third marriages are even higher. Also, Gabriella has now gone on to create a profitable business with her newfound confidence, conflict resolution skills, and wonderful support from her husband. So it's worth thinking about what a supportive marriage might help you go on to achieve financially. The regular price of this course is $744, which I think you'll agree for a course this long with this much live assistance is very good value. But we're currently offering a 20% early sign up special for those who register far enough in advance. And as a thank you for attending this masterclass, I'm giving you another additional 20% masterclass discount. Also, we're keeping the numbers low right now because this course is relatively new and we want to give you loads of value in the hope you'll give us some feedback about what you really liked and what could be improved. This also means that you'll get a lot of time for your questions. You'll only ever be able to get this kind of attention in the future from our Academy of Lasting Love group and elite coaching programs. If this is something that speaks to you, I highly recommend that you take advantage of this incredible low price and this great opportunity by locking in your place today. I 100% guarantee that this offer will not be repeated. Also, as of right now, the course is filling up quickly. So if you have any questions, please don't be afraid to reach out. We really hope to work with you. It's an exciting and yes, sometimes daunting journey, but like Alan Cohen so succinctly puts it, it takes a lot of courage to release the familiar and seemingly secure, to embrace the new. But there's no real security in what is no longer meaningful. There is more security in the adventurous and the exciting. For in movement there is life, and in change there is power. In the chat, you will have your 20% off masterclass code and link where you can buy the course on top of the 20% off early sign up special. You'll also have a link for our You'll also have a link to that special bonus for attending live. All right, I'm just putting that in right here. Fabulous. So instead of asking, is this course really worth it? Maybe the better question is, can we really afford not to do this? Now, on to questions. All right, guys, so just pop your questions in the chat and I'll respond to them as I see them coming in. And also just a heads up, we have our email address, support@theacademyoflastinglove.com. That is, I put it in the chat as well, just in case you want it there, so you can reach out to us at any time. Okay. Right, so one of you is asking, is there a payment plan? Yes, we do offer a payment plan. I'm actually going to put that link as well in the course there. All right, there you go. It's a 3-month payment plan. Okay. What if my partner isn't interested in joining the course or changing? Good question. You do not need your partner to join our program. It's designed for those on a join me journey or a just me journey. So you can really, be doing this, and even those not in a relationship, you'd get a lot of benefit from this for the next time you're in one. When you start by changing yourself first, as per the law of cause and effects, you will result in change from your partner. They will become more open to it. So really, you have a lot of power in this. Is this course only for heterosexual couples, or does it work for same-sex or non-traditional relationships? Absolutely. I mean, this works for all types of relationships. I mean, while the examples we use are in the heterosexual model for simplicity, the principles like, energy balance and communication and growth models, they apply universally. We've helped diverse couples thrive by this program and what it offers. All right. And okay, what results can I expect from the course, and is there a guarantee? In 7 weeks, expect better communication, reduced fights, renewed intimacy, and a growth mindset. Of course, results depend on your commitment, but we guarantee progress if you do the work. And there is a 3-week money back guarantee. Okay, I'm looking at time and we're really coming to an end here. No more questions seem to be coming into the chat. If you do have any, please reach out to us at support@theacademyoflastinglove.com. And I had such a great time with you all here today. Thank you for joining, and hopefully I'll see you in the next course. Have a good one wherever you guys are. All the best.